All right, my name is Lana Smith. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the history of bread making and why you should know the history about it and why I think it's so cool. And I'd like to start off by saying I'm qualified to make this video. I'm qualified to make this speech because I'm an avid baker. I've gotten into baking in the past year or so. I've already mastered French baguette, cinnamon rolls, pretzels, and apple strudel. So like the Dutch type. So I'm gonna get right into it. I think it's really important because um, people have been making bread for over 30,000 years, and that's one of the fun little facts that I learned about it. Um, you should consider this information anytime you enjoy a PBJ ham sandwich, a crispy baguette, or some tangy sourdough. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna be teaching you the history of bread baking. All right, so I'd like to start off. Grains have always been consumed by Homo sapiens, at least from the transition from hunter gatherer to the agrarian lifestyle. Uh, but this doesn't mean that we bake bread uh, since the beginning of time, since the beginning of Homo sapiens existence. Um, there was like things like oatmeal. They called it gruel. Those were grains that would be collected. They'd be chopped up, and then they'd be cooked over a stone or something like that, or they'd be eaten in a kind of soupy mixture, just like oatmeal. Really wasn't that good. But after that came flatbreads, where they did bake it longer over the stone over a fire, and it would I guess it was a little bit tastier, but it was unleavened, so there's no yeast, there's no leavening agent, no egg, baking soda, or yeast. So it just kind of sucked. With growing populations, though, bread rose in popularity, and it's been known as the staff of life to many. So contrary to other earlier breads that would just sit out and have yeast collect and force the bread to rise, those were just immediate, uh, I guess, post flatbread type things. So around 300 BC, bakers started using commercial yeast that was ready to use. So think of like we'll say like Red Star brand or Star brand. What do they call it? I forget what it's called. But, you just rip it open right quick, throw it in there, uh, warm it up, wake it up with some sugar and some warm water. You stir it up, let it sit for 20 minutes. You pour it in. That started in 300 BC, which I was also surprised to read that because I did not know that prior to reading these few articles. Um, and sometimes these commercial yeast were little more than a little water and starch left in a corner to ferment. So you think like sourdough starters. I've got one going. I started it last week. Um, where you let it sit, and the natural yeast in the air, the bacteria builds up, and it creates a unique flavor in that starter. So then, after the advent of commercial yeast, bakers wanted to try more complex breads with fast variety, new grains, whatever. You think not just your normal wheat bread, with white flour. You got to consider like rye, and then other types of grains used to make bread. So new flours were incorporated, and new shapes of breads came to be. You got this was kind of like when they started not just making like I guess plain shapes. They were like they'd be round or whatever. Um, so new flours shaped the way we know and consume breads and how we love them today. Some of these flours were achievable by using new grinding methods and previously unused grains like rye and red wheat. Um, Also, many artisanal breads use rustic grains like rye. So it's more of kind of like a last couple hundred years kind of thing. So that's pretty much it for that. In conclusion, in review, bread has evolved from a pasty oatmeal like substance, excuse me, to a delicious starchy powerhouse that is consumed by billions around the world. Think of all the work and history it took to make that wonder bread that will last through a nuclear holocaust. Thank you.